Hi, I'm Stu Harrison, and I'm coming to you today from Merriam Pianos in Toronto, Canada. And we're going to be looking at the Kawai CE220 Digital Piano, how it feels, how it sounds, its features, and of course, what makes it stand out in its price range. But before we get started, I'm just going to give it a little play for you. So we're going to start with the touch, because of course that's what stands out about this instrument most for people. When they start researching possibilities in the $2,000, $2,500 price range, and all of a sudden the CE220 comes up again and again, and everybody seems to be talking about the wood keys. So what exactly are they talking about? Well, Kawai has several different action types that they have throughout their digital piano line. They have some which are plastic, they have some which are wood, they have some designed for professionals, some designed for beginners. Well, one of the types they've got, as I just mentioned, are the wood key actions, and there's several different classes. The CE220 has really been catching people's attention because for its price range, this might just be the only digital piano in the market to offer a true full-length wood key action. And what I mean by full-length wood key is that the key that you're looking at right here is actually exactly the same size and exactly the same geometry as what you're going to find in a full-size upright piano. This is unique because several other manufacturers have taken action designs such as this, which is a fairly conventional graded hammer action. This is a type of configuration that the industry has been using for several decades. And what they've done is they've simply replaced this piece of plastic with a piece of wood. But fundamentally, the geometry and the structure of the action hasn't changed. They're still utilizing a counterbalance here. They've still got their sensor directly underneath the key. There are lots of impact points and there are lots of moving parts. The wood does help to create a better weight sensation, but it really doesn't help the durability issue. What Kawai's done here is by cutting down on the number of moving parts, totally eliminating any springs, there's no hinges in here, and the impact points are designed in exactly the same way as an acoustic piano. They've created an action that doesn't just feel more like an instrument, it actually lasts more like a real piano. That's a big deal because for people who are looking at digitals as more of a long-term investment now, they don't want to hear that a plastic action might only give them 5, 6, or 7 years of use before it starts to click, before it starts to loosen up. Something like this is going to take a serious pounding over as much as 15-year period without giving anybody any problems. The design is simple, it works really well, and it's proven. And as I said, the really unique thing is that in its price range, the CE220 is the only instrument on the entire market from Kawai, Roland, or Yamaha to have any sort of an action that compares to this. And it feels great. The second thing we're going to talk about is the sound. And what the CE220 has done is taken Kawai's harmonic imaging concept, which is sort of a blend of both sampling and modeling technology, and they've put it through a couple of great amplifiers, and they've upped it to a 4-speaker system. Again, this is one notch up from what you'd normally get in this price range. It's very, very typical for most digital pianos in the $2,000 range to have 2 speakers positioned on the bottom of the instrument that basically just point down at the ground. What Kawai's done with the CE220 is they've added 2 additional speakers, which are the tweeters on the front. So you can see this grill area here and on the right and the left. And what that's doing is it's giving you that extra crispiness, that extra detail right out front of the instrument. So it sounds a lot more like if you were playing an upright piano with the front face off. You're getting all of that clarity back in your face. The detail is fantastic, and anytime you're playing any instrument where you feel like you're getting more feedback from the piano, you're inspired to play better, and that's one of the things I really like about the CE220. Now when it comes to the features, the CE220 offers a really nice standard set of features. It is not super loaded with features, but that's the point. If you were to take this action, those speakers and this level of construction, and then add 200 or 300 of the latest features on top, I'm sorry, we're talking about a $5,000–6,000 piano. And they do have them, but for people who are really trying to keep the budget nice and low, something down in the $2,000 range, the CE220 is going to offer an unparalleled sound and touch experience, and the only compromise is that you get the standard set of features. For me, that's been definitely a worthwhile, very logical compromise for people to make. You're still getting about 20 great high-quality sounds to play on. You're getting a nice standard basic recorder functionality, and you still have full connectivity to any device that you want to hook up to that's MIDI compatible. So this can be on hooking up to an iPad, this can be hooking up to a laptop. Gives you a lot of options to use the CE220 as a full controller as well. Now, the CE220 is one of the few instruments that Kawai actually allows us to sell online. And for the very first time, the CE220 is something that we're going to be offering all across Canada. And so to celebrate this move on to the digital online world, we're going to have some fantastic offers on the CE220. You're going to see them listed below on the page, and depending on the area you're in, they might be slightly different, but there's going to be packages including different types of accessories, headphones, and of course the guaranteed lowest price on a CE220 online anywhere in Canada. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have a chance to get in front of a CE220 and give it a try. And once again, I'm Stu Harrison from Merriam Pianos from Toronto, Canada.